All right. So I alluded to I was going to rank them. I just went ahead and thought I should just make a video with my rankings across the colors. So number one by far for me is Lorien Revealed. Again, very solid card. Draw 3 for 5 is fine, whatever. But the big draw here is the cheap island cycling. Throws sorcery into your yard to power up or to make your terrors cheaper. Strongest card in my opinion. Second strongest, Improvised Club. Gonna make any red deck have a lot of reach, and the addition of the ability to sacrifice an artifact when you compare it to Heartfire means that obviously this is going to be strictly better than Heartfire, but it improves the card a lot because there's a ton of artifacts that want to be sacked or are able to be sacked, random blood tokens and other random artifacts, food tokens now that will turn this on, and then there's the Ichor Wellspring that can sack for value. So I expect to see you play a couple of these in every deck, and then some decks are going to play like the full 4 of these plus Heartfire and just really just go focus burn. 4 damage compared to we don't really have much 3 damage burn spells, so it's basically a very big upgrade from 2 to 4 to the face. Next card I put was Lembas. I think it has a lot of archetypes already that it's going to slot into, and I keep thinking about late game. You're going to be drawing a bunch of Lembases, sacrificing them all, and then cycling them back into your deck, and just kind of gaining a lot of incidental life and being able to scry as well. Cast in Fire I put as number 4. Mostly for its ability to exile artifacts. I think that's a pretty big improvement, and the fact that this other ability can do stuff too is reasonable. Then I put Elven Farsight. I think this can fit into a large number of green decks that will like the card filtering ability. And then I put, after the Elven Farsight, which I think can go in a lot of decks, I put the more specific but possibly creates an archetype around it in these cards, where again, the reason why I like it in green is green can ramp to the creature, it can find the creature a little bit easier, and it can protect the creature. So I think for all those reasons, this being in green is a real benefit, and so I think it has a possibility that you can make a deck, and so I'll have a couple deck techs trying to kind of think about how I would build that deck. Then I put Birthday Escape. Again, ring tempting slots nice into ninjas, which are already in blue. Ends Fury is the one I put next. Again, green decks have already a powers 4 greater theme for a couple other cards, and green has 8 or potentially 12 1 mana ramp creatures that you can ramp into those 3 mana value creatures that have 4 power, and just really start putting a lot of pressure on the opponent. And then the fact that you can start putting counters and clearing out blockers. Next one I put Mushroom Watchdogs. This one I'm a little bit hesitant about because although growing them to a large size is pretty good, and again green can protect the creature, I feel like the things that you'll have to do to get green food token or to get food tokens is probably not the easiest, and you probably want to use them more to get your cats back. But I could see a couple of these working synergistically in that same deck. Then I put Mordor Muster. The reason why I am a little bit less high on this deck or this card is the fact that you can't play multiple of them and still get the same value. So that's the unfortunate part. And that's move on to Revive the Shire. Again, just a solid recursion card. And the fact that it can get any permanent means that decks that have other key cards, I'm thinking of the Venturing, the Dungeon deck, will like this. And like I was saying in the green review, is the incidental food token may be a bonus. Again, Orcish Medicine is hurt the same way that Mordor Muster is hurt, and they hurt each other, where this Amass Orcs 1, really, the whole card only works if you're getting a brand new 1/1 token. If you're just making your token that you have already slightly bigger, it's not that good of a card. The next card is Breaking the Fellowship. It's a removal spell, maybe, if the opponent has 2 creatures. But I think in a red-blue deck, the Ring Tempting You might be a relevant card. But I put it low because it's not that good of a card, and I don't have a lot of confidence that it's going to be a playable card. Nimrodel Watcher, it's kind of the opposite of this card. So this power level is very, very established and understandable. I just don't know how good a 3/1 unblockable is. It's just tough. 1 toughness is just a big downside. So I think it's very established what this card can do. So I think some decks will try to play it. The issue is those decks are going to be playing other cards that also have 1 toughness, and at a certain point you just open yourself up to End of Festivities and Suffocating Fumes too much. Another card that is easily going to see play because it's the best one of those cards. I don't know if those cards can make up a deck good enough that they can beat Suffocating Fumes or End of the Festivities post board. But these cards that for 2 mana create 2 1/1 tokens, and then you can use pump spells to in red that give your whole team +2/+0, can be pretty fast and pretty devastating. I just don't see people wanting to be so weak to those End of Festivities and Suffocating Fumes decks. Rohirrim Lancer, I would put it kind of similar to Breaking the Fellowship, so it's in red. So it's not the best color for the Ring Tempting You, although is a ninja deck by itself, but it just has even more going against it. So you can see the big drop off in power level was after Revive the Shire. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I almost made it perfect. So I would say these are my top 11 cards, and then the rest are honorable mentions that may see occasional play, but aren't really there. And then many partings, again, if there's a food deck, it will probably go into the food deck, but it's not going to be a make or break card for that food deck. It's just going to be a +1 food for that deck. Hobbit Sting, again, it wouldn't be a green deck. I don't think you'd want to play Hobbit Sting in. Like, you could see like a white-blue control deck using the food tokens like Lembas and other food tokens to use for with the Golden Egg, basically Golden Egg and Lembas with Core Skyfisher bouncing it, and then using Hobbit Sting as a removal spell. So you wouldn't have to have so many creatures in play. You could just more rely on having the foods in play. And then the last honorable mention is Mirkwood Bats. I think it's a strong card. I just think it costs a lot for that deck, but it could certainly see play in that deck. So yeah, I think the power level drop off is probably after Revive the Shire. I might even bump the Nimrodel Watcher up to there. And then Rally the Hornburg is probably better than Breaking the Fellowship. Yeah, those are really close. And the Orcish Medicine, yeah. So I'll put that one above Orcish Medicine, but under Nimrodel Watcher. All right. So so a little bit changes on my honorable mentions. I think they're all pretty much equal power level, where they might get into a deck as like 1 of or 2 of, but they're not going to really define any archetypes. Yeah. So, agree, disagree. Let me know what you think of my ratings. It's always fun for me to do these kind of ratings in top tens, or it was top 11 in this case, to kind of go back and kind of reevaluate. Okay, how was my judgment of cards, and how was my evaluation of cards? I think I did all right with the last set. The big issue was I put Saiba Cryptomancer above Ren's Resolve, and my hesitation with putting Ren's Resolve as the number one card is because it was a functional reprint. It felt bad to say the best card of the set was a functional reprint, but I think is borne out very obviously that Ren's Resolve giving 8 copies of Fiery, or not Fiery Impulse, I forgot what the Reckless Impulse, has given all sorts of red decks super deep card draw abilities. So we'll see how I do for this set. See ya.